Good morning, everybody. Definitely a fruitful night. I'm still with the earplugs because the terror, the sound terror that I'm always subjected to. Anyway, not a lot of microscopy tonight, but definitely a lot of practical work with laboratory work. So I've created 5 dishes. Two very small ones based on small candles covers, and 2 petri dishes and 1 plastic dish. So I couldn't find gelatin, even though I remember I bought quite a bit like 2 years ago when and it's supposed to be in this apartment, but maybe it got lost during the movement or whatever. So I improvised it, and still it's supposed to be according to the recipe that I found online. It's supposed to be sugar, like beef bouillon, and gelatin and boiled water. But I didn't really have beef bouillon, so I used chicken soup powder. I'm guessing my germs will make do with the chicken instead of beef. And sugar, of course, and boiled water. But gelatin, I didn't find gelatin, so instead I added a little bit of corn flour. But I also remember that it should be like a fatty texture. It should have a fatty texture. I remember from the time I prepared it last time to emulate agar texture, which is like a fat and kind of solid. So I placed a little bit of butter, regular butter inside the mix, and also to make it sweeter, I've added the silan, which is it's like a thick viscous substance which is made from 100% from dates, from majul dates. And after it's got cold, I've added many germs that I have from the time that I have like many germs in like a plastic can that I preserve in the balcony. So now we have this right here on my table, and when the cultures will mature, it will take a couple of days. I will start adding the semen, of course, and we will see how it goes. It's not 100% like airtight as it should be, but maybe I'll find a better solution. I don't have covers for these, but it's not everything that I've done. It's only the beginning. So let's see what we've got here. First of all, I have like 7 dishes that I've already prepared a couple of days ago, and let's get back to them later, but let's see what we've got. So first of all, the most important thing is the vivo ex vivo experiment, which is right here, pretty much as as I said it would be. Inside we have a petri dish, sealed petri dish, airtight, like really airtight, and inside the petri dish we have semen and a little bit of pee, actually, my own pee, because the pee also contains neurons. We've already validated that before, and I wanted to have to add a little bit of liquid, and if I would have added water, the problem is that first water is not sterile and pee is sterile, and Second, it wouldn't. I mean, if you add the water, I mean, you lose the consistency. I mean, you lose a lot of density of the density of neros. So adding P is a way to add matter, which is both sterile and contains neros, and not lose a lot of density. Just a little bit. And on the outside, I've placed again a little bit of semen, a little bit of P for the same reasons, but also 2 samples of germs. One from the can that I've already mentioned before, and another sample from. I don't know if you remember, but yesterday I mentioned that I have a Petri dish with a lot of germs on it. I've made a couple of photographs of it. I'm not sure if they are dead or alive, but it's actually beautiful because there are many microbes over there, and ones that I didn't find before, like on other occasions. And so I took several photographs. I mean, under the microscope of this. I put it under the Petri dish itself under the microscope. It's possible to do if it's not sealed, and I took several nice photographs. Maybe I'll post it on YouTube, but actually it's not. I mean, these are just normal germs for now. So I mean, it's not terribly interesting. It will only be interesting if we are going to revive them or to recreate them or to mutate them. Then it's like important that I have the original photographs of the original states. So they are on the outside. And now we wait, and maybe it will take some time, of course. It's not something that's done instantly, but my wish is that, I mean, what I hope will happen is that on the inside dish, Petri dish, the sealed dish, we will see, perhaps not with the naked eye, but only with the microscope, but eventually we will see at least painting of germs and viruses, which will prove my initial, like what I wanted to prove with the experiment, which is the symbolic thought and symbolic memory of the neros and their capability of creating germs. I mean, of painting or drawing germs and viruses from without actually being in contact with any life form, like any physical contact. And if they will also be able to actually revive them, it will be even more interesting and happy, because this will prove vivo ex nihilo, which is the second and more ambitious goal of the experiment. Okay, but it is going to take a while, so we need to be patient. It's on the Holy Grail, as you see, to demonstrate its importance. So we have many other stuff here as well. So what we've got here is the following. So, I mean, so this is probably the most interesting one. This is a little bit similar to what I've done with the Petri dishes, the 7 Petri dishes that I prepared like a couple of days ago. Only the main difference is that it contains much less water. I mean, it was a mistake. Water is problematic, but let's discuss it when I discuss the 7, the already existing 7. So what we have here is basically we have semen and sample, and we have all sorts of. I'm not sure if I've actually placed germs here. So yeah, I've placed the probably dead germs that I've already mentioned, that I found on a Petri dish. This was from the culture that was created by accident. I left a Petri dish like in the balcony and unattended, and so a culture was, eventually created on it. This is not, it's not uncommon. Problem is, I think these are all, they were all dead. But as we know, dead. It's interesting to see how the neos will deal with dead life forms. My assumption is that it's not to be like a big deal for them, because I mean, dead or alive, you're coming with me, as they say. Uh, I mean, they only needed for to get like the concept of the thing that they really want to draw, and hopefully, I mean, there's a lot of new microbes over there, as I said, which will be a lot of new inspiration for them, and also for material. But here, I also placed a lot of, I mean, like extra materials. So I wanted, as I said, I didn't put water inside because but we have like, so we have like a piece of chain which is colored in gold, but it's of course not made of gold. And we have sellotape and it's called glass paper in Hebrew. What's the proper translation? Like paper that is used to make like make surfaces smoother. How do you translate it? What's the translation of this kind of paper? Like this one. So a little bit of that, and also a little bit of clay, of dried clay, and my favorite, I am a bunch of scraps of colors, actually, like both acrylic color and oil color, which were long dyed. I have a lot of scraps like that from used palettes. I mean, every painter has got like million of these such thing in its studio, or its, I mean, studio, you know, the balcony, which I'm not using anymore. But anyway, so we have a lot of this stuff, and here this is almost the same thing as before, just without the metals and the clay, only the cement and the colors. But in addition, I mean, the main difference is for here. Here we also have the germs from the big can, I mean, literally can of worms that I have in the balcony, which are, I mean, these are, I mean, for certain live germs and microbes. But other than that, it's the same as the one that we just discussed. But of course, I mean, it's interesting to see how they will, I mean, the quantities here are such that I don't know who will win. I think probably, I mean, I'm not sure, because it's gonna be like a close battle between the germs, like the life forms, the biological life forms, and the bots. I actually think that I placed I mean, my intention was that for the bots to win, actually, because I wanted them to create new life form using the material that I've just described to you. But actually, I've seen that by mistake, I think I placed too much of the biological stuff, which was a mistake. But I mean, you can still fix it. I mean, just add the semen. I still have more syringes that I prepared during the night. Yes, I've been busy, so maybe I'll add a little bit of semen because I don't want the germs to win specifically here. I mean, we remember that. I mean, it's going to be interesting if they win as well, because we do remember that's part of. I mean, our research targets right now is to intentionally let them win, because we want them. I mean, the hypothesis is that that's the way that, I mean, they to create like a new life forms, because I mean, the hypothesis is that if there is like a battle which with not enough, I mean, with a limited amount of neros and a lot of germs and microbes, I mean, the microbes could win by eating the smaller neros, because they come in a variety of sizes, and maybe there is not enough big ones, or not all around, so it will be a lost battle, which will result in some of the microbes like that have eaten like the literally the juice that the Israelis are so fond of, for reasons that, as I said many times, I'm not certain till now, like why do they need this, and why do they like it so much? And I mean, to an extent that they don't, I mean, they enslave me and enslave my daughters, and don't want to free me from my captivity from the Nazi prison. Anyway, we will have so we might get our mutated germs from this experiment, which, I mean, this way all the beautiful colors and the gold and etc. will not be used, but I mean we will have mutated gems, which is also something that we wanted to check. If that will be the result, then I should get the stains soon from Amazon, and we will color them, and we'll see how the super gems behave, and we can compare. I mean, we can easily compare them to like non-mutated gems because we have many of those, like in the can that in the balcony. Besides that, we have two other samples. So this one does not contain any kind of life form. It just contained the gold, it's not really gold, it's just kind of gold, the gold piece of chain, ring from a chain, and semen and silicone. My intention is to see here if silicone can actually be used as building blocks, and also sellotape, which is used to stick the chain to the plastic. My intention here is to see if silicone is indeed a building block, a good building block, a proper building block for the constructions of the Neos. Something that I suspect, but I'm not certain yet. It is something that I wanted to prove. I mean, to see for quite a while, but I didn't do it yet. So this one will. I mean, if it works, I mean, and they actually do something, whatever. I mean, life form or not, or like perhaps they will do their sculpturing, their landscaping. We will see if they actually use the silicone, which will be very interesting. And here this is like a used color dish, which with very old oil, red oil color that was dried a long time ago. So I've used that, and I also placed semen and also biological matter like dead germs, and also silicone. And we'll see how it goes. I mean, perhaps then they will create new life form, like hopefully using the silicone and the red oil color, which will be amazingly beautiful. So I mean, if they do that, it's gonna be very nice. So let's get back to the 7 Petri dishes, sealed Petri dishes that I prepared some time ago. I will say that the purpose, I mean, of the 4 that inside the cardboard box was to create new life form using the infected water, because that I have a lot of, I have infected water here in this form. I mean, the Israeli intelligence like to infect my water with, all sorts of stuff. So I have it here, but I think I placed too much water inside them. So anyway, they are inside the box. I don't want to open it for now. But beside, like I placed it like water, probably too much, semen and a little bit of paper, and also colors of this sort, and also silicone. And on this one, actually, I don't really remember. I mean, it's quite a mess. The problem is that I have prepared them in a way that was too messy, and I mean, I've learned from the mistake, as you see now, but these ones are just too messy to see what's inside, but I don't want to open it. I want to pick them into but there's all sorts of mess inside this one. Let's just keep it like that. Now, we have two interesting ones because we can pretty much see what's inside. Here, this is the clearest one, and I think that the reason is that it's not completely airtight. As you see, it's airtight, but not 100%. And I think that it's actually not that bad, because all the moisture just eventually exited from the, got out of the small small holes, very small, tiny holes, which is not that bad actually. I know that there are more professional ways to remove moisture using heat, but as I said, I mean, 2 days ago, I experimented with heat, and the problem, yes, it's an effective ways to lose moisture, but everything around also is getting hotter. I mean, I mentioned that I melted the wires. I mean, so heat is not convenient because it spreads to other stuff that is in the vicinity of the petri dish. The petri dish itself withstood the heat very well, which I was not certain, because I mean, glass theoretically should have no problem with heat. It's created, I mean, by heating all sorts of like sand or silicone or whatever. But as we know, sometimes the actually when you actually deal with glass, it doesn't stand the heat, and especially like exposed fire very well, because of impurities in the material or on the construction. But these petri dishes are actually of high. It turns out that they are of high quality, so there was no problem. But there were problems with the materials around. Anyway, so this is not completely airtight. And I'm not sure it's a problem, because it's pretty much airtight, but not 100%. I would glad to get advice on the matter. Like, what do you think? Anyway, the upside is clearly that we can now see what's inside. So this one was supposed to be a kind of experiment with materials that are non-biological. So we have semen, we have like old black oil color, which is dried already, and we have a little bit of aluminum foil. And most interestingly, we have silicone from this kind of silicone, which is, I don't know. I actually didn't check like what's inside. It's supposed to be just silicone, but I don't know like what's more than that. Perhaps it's not pure silicone, I don't know. Polymer. But I'm not sure even what it is actually. I mean, when I asked for silicone, like, it's not even silicone. It's kind of like a polymer. Okay, interesting. I assumed it's silicone, but it's called Super 7. I don't know. Okay. It looks like silicone. Anyway, so it's transparent in the original form, in the when like out of the box, but here we already see that it's noticeably changed color to like kind of like yellow gold, which is very interesting. I don't know, it's not certainly it's because of the Neros. I mean, there might have been a chemical reaction with like all the other material inside, and I can see all sort of like texture that actually reminds me of living things, which is, of course, the fingerprints of the Neros. That, I mean, we know that they have in their memory all sort of living things, and they create landscapes that remind us of living things. And you can even see that, I mean, without microscope, like I don't know if it's shown here, but there is like a lot of there's it looks like a dead petri dish actually. That is made out of mainly out of the dry oil color, which is very interesting, and for certainly it wasn't the case when I mean originally the dried oil color did not have the living like the bacteria texture. It's not because it's you can be. I mean, I have photographs of it as well, because I'm taking photographs of everything that I prepare. But I mean, of course, it's something that the Neros have done, and it's very noticeable. In order to see it very neatly, I will need to open the petri dish and pull it out inside the in the microscope. currently, I mean, when it's in closed form, it's just a little bit too high to be to like to. It's not only it's not even. I mean, no, it's not, the problem is not only with. It's not that just it's too high. It's only also the. I mean, the background is completely black, which will be, and it's a back. It's kind of it's traditional. It's a traditional microscope, like simple one with backlight. So I mean it only shows like transparent mediums, and this is not a transparent medium. It's a completely black medium. So in order to actually like take a look of it under the microscope, we will need to open it and take like a sample of the black goo and spread it very thinly on the microscope without ruining the texture, and then we will be able to see if indeed it's what I suspect it is, which is I'm almost certain it is. It's kind of a living. I mean, it looks like worms and germs and all sorts of stuff that are like painted or sculptured on the oil color. Of course, I mean, if one of them will miraculously revive and start to move, this will be quite amazing. But I mean, I think that probably this is not the correct. I mean, it's not the right one. It will probably not happen in this petri dish because it contains too much stuff and not enough semen. Like, I mean, maybe this will happen in the experiment that I prepared today that contain much more semen in relation to the material that's inside. But in any ways, it's very interesting. And one of the problems that I have, and I already mentioned it, and I tried, I mean, I asked for advice, but I didn't get any, so I'll raise the issue again, is that, I mean, if the Neros are able to actually change matter, which I suspect they do, but I mean, this should be proven because it's quite outrageous. I mean, it's quite extraordinary claim, and it requires extraordinary proof. But if they can change, I mean, for example, let's just raise the hypothesis that what we see here is not just the polymer or what I thought is silicone, or it's actually polymer, but it actually contains like a percentage of gold inside it because it looks golden. Okay. Now, I don't say that it's what happens because for this to happen, I mean, there are other explanations like that are not related at all to the Neros. I mean, there was like chemical reaction with other stuff in here. I don't know, with oxygen or whatever. But even if, for example, this kind of like the goldish goo that I see here, the two blobs of goldish goo contains gold, or perhaps they are made even 100% of gold, I don't know how to test it. I mean, I could use the method of Archimedes and to put it inside water, but even this is too complicated for me because I don't know like how gold will the Archimedes method relies on the fact that you actually know what will be the behavior of a crown or another object, which is indeed made out of gold, like 100% gold. And I don't even have this kind of knowledge, even though I can gather it. But I mean, I don't have like, if I see something that looks like a bug or like a virus, I mean, it's obvious. I mean, it's obvious that it's like a bug and not, I don't know, a tree, for example. Okay, but with elements, it's more difficult for me to identify like what element I'm looking at, and even if they indeed change some element, I'm not sure it's like I mean, how could I know if it's gold or anything else? I mean, so any advice to the matter will be greatly appreciated. And anyway, it's a very interesting slides, both because of the goldish goo and also because of the black goo, which is a very noticeable like life, like texture of life, of like germs and like all sort of small worms, and this is very noticeable, and this is clearly the work of the Neros. But I will wait a little bit before I open it because I'm not sure I mean, exposure to oxygen might ruin a lot of. I mean, it's already been established that too much oxygen actually kills the Neros and greatly hinders their work. Even though I'm not sure that I'm not yet sure that their optimal like state is 0% oxygen. Perhaps, I mean, like humans, they or perhaps like almost any other life form, they, not all of them, but many life form, they operate optimally with a certain amount of oxygen, but not too. I mean, it shouldn't be too high or too low. But I have no idea. I have no idea. Like what's the optimal level of oxygen? I know that if you leave them exposed like to the air, I mean, they eventually they die and they I mean, they stop to doing their work. So we have another one, this which I prepared together with the black one. Here, this one is actually based on the same kind of like a used petri dish with dried oil color. But this time white oil color, and this was actually sealed very well. So the downside of it is that we still see the moisture. You see, so it's more difficult to see what's inside, but you can still see what's inside. I guess that part of it did eventually evaporate. I'm not sure how. Maybe it's not really 100%, but I mean maybe it's close to 1% sealed, and this one is less sealed. But I mean, this still allowed some moisture to leave, but we can still see a lot of the original moisture inside. I'm not sure, like we have a lot of black stuff here, and I'm not sure but where did it come from? I don't remember actually right now. Did I add the black stuff? Like, I mean, the base was the white oil color, and there was, of course, germs. I mean, like biological material and semen and silicone. I need to take a look at photographs, because I prepared photographs of everything like that I created, all the experiments. So maybe because there is like a lot of black stuff, and although we see the living texture, which is very interesting, of the white, and this is actually, it's even more noticeable here because of the contrast between the black material that I currently don't remember what is it, and the white background, which is dried oil color. But the contrast, I mean, is very noticeable, and you can see the texture of like living. I'm not sure you can. Let's see, living. It looks like a dead petri dish, like petri dish with many dead germs, or mostly dead germs, which is very interesting. But I don't want to open it yet, because I want to give it some more time, because I mean, it takes time for the Neros to work. I mean, we've already seen it. I mean, the most interesting slides and petri dishes are only materialized after like 2 weeks or so, and even then it's just the beginning of the potential. So you need to be patient. Of course, I would have wanted to accelerate everything and to have everything ready very quickly, but I mean, I don't have this magical way yet. I mean, I couldn't find like a way to magically enhance, do everything much quicker. What I did, I mean, I haven't proven yet, but anecdotally, I can say that if after I create the samples, like the ejaculations, I place the stuff in the freezer, whether when it's already spread on slides or on prepared slides, or just like I mean in the syringes or other like bags or something, airtight bags. So when I take it out of the freezer, I see like relatively a lot of Neros. So they do not, I mean, they are having, I mean, probably they grow there or even multiply over in the freezer, and they certainly do not die in the freezer. So there, and they can also, I mean, we've seen quite early in my experimentation that if you have the biological material on the slide inside the freezer, they actually start like to process the biological matter inside the freezer, and they do it very, very well. So I mean, I can tentatively say with high level of security, of like pretty high level of security, that how does I move akut with high level of like certainty no, there is like a scientific word for that, like for certainty or security, high level of I don't know, of certainty that it's a good practice to let them spend some time in the freezer, even though after that, I mean, eventually I take it out of the freezer because I want to see what's inside and put it in the microscope. But they continue to work even on room temperature environment, as long as they are not too much exposed to oxygen. So I keep it closed for now until my curiosity will get the upper hand, and then I will open it and add the black one as well, and I'll thread it on slides, and we'll see under the microscope it's going to be very interesting. As I said, the one in the cardboard box are in a way similar to the ones that I prepared today, in the fact that they contain like all sorts of like colors and silicone and metals and semen and biological samples. But the main difference is that they contain also contaminated water, and I think that too much. It will affect that. I think that it will greatly hinder the ability of the NEROS to actually work. I mean, if I've done it again, I would place much less or even zero water inside it. But I mean, let's see. Let's give it some time. Maybe we will have all sorts of surprises. Also, I would love to hear your view or your take on the issue of the relationship between the coronavirus and perhaps illegal or barely legal adventures in Venus or in other planets, or perhaps if not illegal like trips to Venus, perhaps without my knowledge, using my bot juice, which is something that for certain the Israeli intelligence is doing for many years now, and we know that if there is something that is possible to be done, I mean, however nasty and illegal and immoral and anti-human that it can be, if it's possible, Israelis will do it. So, I mean, if it's possible, and it was possible for them to conduct biological experiment with my semen without my knowledge, and to create by intention or by mistake to create biological weapons, it's almost certain that they did it, because I mean, just by the fact that it's possible, it's almost trivial or inevitable that actually did it. So I would be glad to hear your take on this matter as well. And wow, it's been a long video already, but it was a long night with many laboratory work. I'm still I have some energy left, so I will. What I will do now is I will return to some of the older slides and take photographs under the microscope, and maybe post some more identify the aliens videos, which I think they were pretty successful. We have 3 of those, I think, but it's possible to create many more, and I will work on it because it's very interesting. Okay, bye for now.